You can fall in love, but get up and walk into that marriage or that relationship. How did I go from beast to beauty? She was never a beast, not too much. But let's go ahead and do our makeup for an event that I'm having out of town. So it is our first makeup video. I don't know what I'm doing, so please bear with me. I have a lapel mic on for the first time. There's a lot of new things happening. It's a new season. It's a new day. It's the middle of the night. My kids are asleep. My husband's in bed. Let's do our makeup. I have my handy dandy little, what do you call this, mirror with me. And we're going to go ahead and get started. I do have a robe because I don't know. Hi, if you're new to my page, my name is Fumi Ford, wife, mom, content creator, based out of Birmingham, Alabama, but she's a Niger babe. Nigerian born. My channel is all things fashion, beauty, travel, entrepreneurship, and luxury. If that sounds like something you'd be interested in, please think about hitting that subscribe button. I would love to have you as part of our growing community. If you're one of my regular lovies, welcome. Let's do our makeup and transform for a night out on the town. So if you are a person of color, you know why I have this scarf on. The edges have to be laid to bed so that I can go out. So I'm laying my edges. The scarf is going to stay on till the end. But let's go ahead and get started. I already have my skincare prep. If you want a skincare prep video, please comment down below. Y'all, I did all that work just to go check and there was no sound. It's my first time using a lapel mic and I will never do that again. I'm just going to use my regular boom mic. This is very stressful. So there was no sound whatsoever. I don't know. I'm like at a loss of what to do. I guess we should just start all over or should I just do a voiceover? I'm so stressed. So let's get started right here. I've already done the eyebrows. I showed you the products. I've already done the Pro Conceal with the color corrector around my mouth. So we're just at the beginning. I've pretty much done my eyes with the brow bone with the Bobbi Brown. So we're going to go ahead and do the eyelashes before we move on. I am one of those people that I do my eyes first before I do anything else. These are the Ardell Wispy. Love a wispy eye, especially because I have smaller eyes than most people. So I kind of need the eyelash to kind of go this way instead of just be big. I needed to go from like small, medium to large. So kind of like that fan out feel is what I want. So let's get into how I met my husband, because now we're going to have to tell a different story because there was no sound on the first part and I can't do it. We'll do another story time of what I was saying in another video. Water break. Got this Kiss glue and we're gonna go ahead and get started. So y'all, when I tell you, me and my husband are about to celebrate 10 years of marriage and we are planning a traditional wedding in Accra, Ghana to celebrate both parts of my culture because my mom is half Nigerian, half Ghanaian. My father is fully Nigerian, which makes me 75% Nigerian, whatever else percent Ghanaian. So we're going to have it in Ghana because my mom has 2 homes in Ghana. And I'm so excited to be celebrating 10 years with this man. When I tell you, I grew up as one of the girls that never wanted to get married. It's so shocking. Now, I never wanted to get married and I never wanted to have kids. I wanted to be one of those girls that was like, I'm a missionary. I'm just going to go out, do the Lord's work. Leave me alone. Nobody look at me. I grew up not really dating a lot. because of the church I went to, Deeper Life, because I was just a shy kid. I was afraid of everything. I was afraid of everybody. So growing up sort of like that made me very, very sheltered. Plus, again, I grew up in Deeper Life. If you know, you know deeper life. Like, you don't date till you get married. That was a rule. You do not date until you get married. So I did not have a lot of experiences with men. And I thank God for that, because I didn't go into relationships with a lot of baggage, because I didn't have a lot of heartbreak. It was good and it was bad. I also didn't have a lot of experience, so I was very naive when it came to relationships. But I remember I had just gotten out of a situationship. Say it with me. Type situationship in the comments. I had just gotten out of a situationship with this man. Let me go back. I was engaged. Before I met my husband, I was engaged, which a lot of people don't know because I don't talk about it that much. But I was engaged to be married, and I broke off my engagement maybe 3 months before the wedding. Ask me why. He was crazy. That's why. And also, I wasn't ready to be a wife. The phrase my mom always says is, you can fall in love, but get up and walk into that marriage or that relationship. I fell in love, and instead of getting up and walking into it, I just stayed on my knees. And my sisters, I need you to get off your knees, figuratively and literally. Get off those knees and stand up, soldier of God. Yeah, so I was lost in the sauce. But there were things that this man was doing that did not align with what I wanted for my life and what I thought a relationship could be. I hadn't had a lot of relationships, but I grew up in a house with a healthy relationship that was modeled. So I knew the things that were supposed to happen and the things that weren't supposed to happen. I knew nobody was supposed to yell at me, because I never saw my dad yell at my mom. I knew nobody was supposed to throw things when they got mad, because I never saw that. I knew nobody was supposed to call me out of my name, call me a hobbit, call me big, I just knew it. But I was on my knees with love. And it took my brother coming up to me, because there was an incident that happened, and my brother, and I was in the kitchen crying, and my brother was like, he said it underneath his breath so that I could hear him. And this is my little brother, he's 7 years younger than me. He was like, when I get a woman, he said, when I get a girlfriend, I'll never treat her the way he treats you. And I thought in my little mind, what example are you leaving for your brothers if you are staying with this man that's talking to you and treating you any type of way? What are you telling them with your actions? That it's okay for them to treat a woman. It's okay for them to make a woman cry. It's okay for them to curse at a woman. It's okay for them to call a person out of their name. And that's when I knew, and I broke off that engagement 3 months before the wedding. I went to my dad, who was our pastor as well, and I was like, yeah, we're not going to do this. Like, I just don't think this is the right path for me and my journey, and I just want to break it off. Now, was it hard? Yes. Did I regret it on some days? Yes. Did I, call him on Thanksgiving a month before the wedding to see if he wanted to come over for Thanksgiving? Yes. Did he come? No, because he literally hated my guts for breaking off the engagement and went around telling everybody how I ruined his life. But when I realized this man wasn't the one for me, did I leave? Yes. Was it hard? Yes. Did I never go back? Yes. So I had come out of that situation with my ex-fiance, and I hopped into a random situation with a random person who had been a friend, a childhood friend, and we were just talking. I don't know what that means, but that's what we were doing, because he wasn't my boyfriend. We were talking. And I realized, I don't want to talk to this person anymore. I actually I want to hang the phone up. And so I ended up leaving that situationship, and I said, God, I don't want to date anybody else. So after my engagement, I was single. After I broke off my engagement, I was single for 2 years. And I just worked on myself. I picked up hobbies. I volunteered at soup kitchens. Like, there was this soup kitchen I fell in love with, and I would volunteer. I would go there every single day on my lunch break to deal with the heartache of this broken engagement. I traveled. I just learned to love myself. Like, I'm not lying. I put my all into my job, God, and that soup kitchen. I was very altruistic during that time because I did not want to sit there and wallow in what I didn't have. I was one of those girls who was the last to get married out of their friend groups. So my sister got married at 21. My best friend got married at 21. Everybody I knew was getting married in their 20s. And here I am at 23 with a broken engagement, now going into 25 with no prospects. And so I graduated school, I traveled, I enjoyed life, I volunteered at the soup kitchen to the point I was bringing people in from my church to that soup kitchen. I got proposed to like 4 times at the soup kitchen. It was a wild, wild, wild ride for me. And I just was in a very good place. I also was the media director at my church. So I would do all of the Sunday service, all the media, the things that went up on the screen, the songs. I was in the back working on that as well as the camera. And my now husband walked into that church. Now, his mom had been going to the church for years. His mom and his sister had been going to the church for years. His sister was actually really good friends with my mom, and I had met the sister on several occasions at my mom's house, but I did not know who she was. First of all, I didn't know she had a brother, and second of all, I didn't even know she had a mom that went to the church. So they were both going to my church while Sam, my husband, their son and brother, was at Tulane University, and Tulane is a law school in New Orleans. So he was at Tulane, which is a 4-year law program. He went to Alabama, and then he moved to New Orleans for law school. So he never really came down here. Week he finished law school, he moved back to Birmingham, Alabama, and ended up coming to church with his mom because his mom was living in Montgomery, but they had a house in Birmingham. He came to church. His mom was like, "Oh, come to the church. You're about to take the bar. I want my pastor to pray over you for the bar." So he came to church, and in the process of being at the church, instead of worshiping Almighty God, he was looking at my legs. So I'm walking around working, just doing my thing, being holy, sold out for God. This man was staring me down, and I never saw him. I just, he told me this story. So when service was over, my sister actually came up to me and she was like, "Girl, did you see that fine man and his mom?" I said, "No, I didn't see anybody." I was like, I'm working." She's like, No, you missed him. He was so good looking, but I think he's married because he was here with a woman and a kid. So I think he's married with a kid." And I said, "Okay, well, what are we supposed to do with that information? What am I supposed to, you think I'm a homewrecker?" Negative. So we left it at that. That next Sunday after church, he wasn't there, but his sister was there because he was taking the bar. And his sister came up to me and she was like, "Hey, my brother saw you and wanted to know if he could get your number." And since I was like on this healing spiritual journey, I was like, "No, I don't need no man. I don't want nobody's number. Leave me alone." And she was like, "Oh, he just finished law school." I was like, "Scared? If you want to see me get booked, say an attorney husband." I'm just kidding. I was actually studying for the LSAT, so I was like, "Oh, that's perfect. I can get tips from him for the LSAT because I'm not really looking for a relationship." And she's like, "Oh, okay, well, give me your number and I'll give it to him." And I was like, "Okay, sure." Gave her my number that Sunday. Literally that Monday, this man had called me, and I don't think we got to talk, but he called again that weekend. He called again that Friday. Let me tell you something, people of God. If a man wanted to, he would, right? He called me the day after he got me my number. I didn't pick up. He called literally a couple of days later. As soon as he called and I picked up the phone, we started talking. He was like, hey, my name is Sam. My sister got your number. I would love to get to know you a little bit more. We start talking. Mind you, I am going on a date with another man. I don't tell him that. I'm like, oh, okay, I'm getting ready, but we can talk. We sat on that phone the entire time I got ready for this date. We're just talking, kikiing, talking about politics, life, like politics with this random stranger. Mind you, I don't know what he looks like. I never even went and looked him up. So after we got off the phone, I went on this date, and the whole time I'm thinking about this man that I just talked to, and I'm thinking, okay, feel me, this date ain't the one, because you're thinking about somebody else. When I got back, he had text and was like, hey, I'll be in town this Saturday. Can I take you out? Me, baby. Listen, people of God, come close. If a man wanted to, he definitely will. Because when I tell you, some of y'all have been waiting 360 days for this man to text you. You're always the first one to reach out. Sis, stop. Stop. If you're always the first one to reach out, always the one to make plans, always the one to set up dates, baby, you're dating yourself. You're dating a child. Because a real man will call you and say, hey, I want to take you out. How about we go see a movie? What movie do you want to see? I'm going to buy tickets for the theater. I'll meet you there. That's exactly what this man did. He said, what movie? I told him, hey, I want to see Batman. He said, okay, I'll meet you at the steps. I'll be wearing this. The next day, he was there on time, standing on the steps, waiting for me. So now me being a scary person, not having a lot of relationships, I was scared. So I told my sister, I said, hey, meet me at the movie theater and act like you're just a regular moviegoer. I said, don't talk to me. Don't say nothing. Just buy tickets to this movie and show up there. And so we get to the theater. Comes in a separate car. We act like we don't know each other. I come up to the steps and this tall man, very skinny. He was very, very, very skinny, Anna. Back then, this tall man, this tall dark man is standing on the steps waiting for me with 2 tickets in his hand. And he's like, hey, I'm Sam. I'm like, hey, I'm Fumi. We like go in, we sit down, 4-hour Batman movie. I couldn't tell you what the movie was about. I just was sitting there thinking, I'm going to marry this man. Boom, bam. This is one of my favorite like setting powders. So I'm going to set all the liquid and then do my concealer and contour and then foundation. I always underpaint with my makeup every single time. It's just so flawless and so seamless when you underpaint versus doing it over. Now, if I have a very special event, I will underpaint and overpaint. Not overpaint. I'll underpaint and paint on top as well. But if you want makeup where you don't see the creases, like maybe you can see where the contour is. You can see where the underpaint. So this is the same concealer, the Fenty Beauty concealer. We're going to conceal underneath our eyes. We got to get this show on the road, baby, because I am about to be running late. So we finished the movie, and after the movie, my sister finally walks up to us because, you know, I'm safe. I've made it. I did not perish. She walks up to us and she's like, hey, I'm Fumi's sister. And so Sam, the date, was like, hey, okay, it was very nice meeting you. My sister, who's like really bold and outgoing, was like, hey, why don't you come over the apartment and I can cook for y'all? Now, I lived in a 5-bedroom house with 5 other women. So, yeah, it was a lot. So he was like, oh, yeah, sure. I'll come over and we can, you know, eat and I can get to know you a little bit better, and then I can go home back to his mom's house because remember, he's visiting from Birmingham. So we go to my house with all my roommates. My sister cooks for us, and we just sit there and we talk, we laugh. He's so, you know, he's not as outgoing as me. Even now, my husband isn't as outgoing as me. He's a A-type. He's very much so like introverted. But he sat there with my roommate and talked to 5 women and just was so kind. Also, you know, another tip my dad gave me when you're dating is bring that person around your family. Bring that person around your friends. See how they act around other women. See how they act around other people. See how they treat strangers. Go out to eat with them. See how they treat support staff. See how they treat their mom and their sisters. You know, are they yelling? Are they screaming? Are they angry with them? When you bring them around other women, do they have hungry eyes? Are their eyes gobbling up nyashes and throats? You know, so I just kind of watched him like I did my research. Y'all, we are so quick to research friends and research jobs, but we won't research somebody that's going to possibly change our entire life, because marriage is one of the few things that will change the trajectory of your life. The kids you have, where you live, everything is based around this marriage. So just do your due diligence, and girl, research like a hound dog. Just watch how he interacted with the other roommates, the other women. I watched where his eyes were roaming to. Are they roaming to and fro like a dog on a hot day? Baby, are they looking for a bone? I just was watching him, and he was so polite. He was always looking at me, even when I'm walking around, his attention, even when he doesn't think I'm looking at him. My sister is also doing recognizance, trying to see where his eyes are roaming to, how he's talking, you know. And I just realized, like, from that night, that movie date, to meeting my roommates, to meeting my sister, this guy was very chill and he could roll with the punches. So we went from there. And then the next time he came down again, and by a month of seeing each other, I went to Birmingham to go see him because he had a house. He lived at his mom's house. His mom lived in Montgomery. He lived in Birmingham in this house by himself. I went to visit him, and you know, he asked me to be his girlfriend a month afterwards. Again, ladies, when he knows, he knows. You know, you don't need 3 business years to figure out if you even want to be exclusive with somebody. Don't let somebody run you around for 5 to 6 years trying to decide whether you're even going to be his girlfriend. I'm not even talking about dating. I'm talking about girlfriend. Like, they're trying to decide whether you are material, girlfriend material, and it's been 4 years. Baby, if I should talk. He asked me to be his girlfriend, and when he asked me to be his girlfriend, I was very upfront with him about my rules. And I'm going to tell you my rules as we contour. Now that we've highlighted, let's contour. I'm going to tell you my rules. 1, I can't move in with you. I don't know who you've dated. I don't care who you've dated. I don't care who moved in with you after 3 months, 2 months, 10 months, 1 year. I'm not that girl. My mom taught me to not sell myself short. Again, this isn't against anybody that moves in with their partner. I'm not saying that. These are just my rules. I feel like sometimes when I talk about my rules, people get upset because they feel like it's an indictment on them. I don't care what you do with yourself. I'm just telling you what I did with myself. I wasn't moving in with anybody. So I told him that. I'm not moving in with you as long as you know that. 2, and I'm going to take off my scarf when I say this. No shebang bang without a rang rang. You know, I was like, I'm not opening up the candy shop until I'm married. Now, did I keep that promise? Only God will tell. I will take it to my grave. But I will say I did try my best. I said, no shebang bang without a rang rang. Goes right in hand. I'm not having kids for you. I'm not having no kids for you. Don't come over here. I'm going to put a baby in you. No, you're not. No, you're not. Because I'm not having kids with 2 different last names. It's not happening. And then the last rule, I only had 2 years to play house. And I'm not meaning house like moving, because you guys know I'm not moving in. But I only had 2 years to play around with him. And I told him that, listen, I like you. I think this is going somewhere great. But if in those 2 years you don't know whether you want to marry me and you haven't proposed, please let me go my way and you'll go your way. And this will be a very fun moment in our life where we got to know each other and enjoy a good time. But what we're not going to do is waste 7 years of my life as a fiance or girlfriend. I was already 25. I didn't have it in me. I only had 2 years in me. The contour stick, of course, is the Fenty contour stick in ebony, the darkest shade. Let me pull this back up because it's looking a little right. So yeah, I told him I only really had 2 years to give him, and 2 years dating to marriage, not 2 years and then 2 more years engaged and then no baby, 2 years and then married. And I told him that the minute he asked me to be his girlfriend. So I didn't wait till we had been in a relationship for 5 to 6 years. I didn't wait till, it felt like an ultimatum and we were already so deep in. We were only a month in and he asked me to be his girlfriend. And I told him I really only have 2 years to play boyfriend, girlfriend and be in corners, hunching. Like, I'm not doing that. Mind you, I wasn't hunching anyway, but I'm not doing that. So I told him my rules, and he was like, oh, yeah, I figured that because my mom already told me that. That's a good mom. He was like, yeah, my mom already told me, that before I even told her I was going on a date with you because you're the pastor's kid. She kind of told me what to expect. I said, okay, great. Do these rules sound good to you? He said, yeah. I said, do you have any rules? He's like, no. I said, okay, let's shake on it. We're boyfriend and girlfriend. Actually, we kissed. Not too much, though. It was like, not too much because I wasn't about to be that girl. I saved that for later on. This is the Bobbi Brown Weightless foundation. It's a full coverage perfection. I am color N100. I think now they've changed it, but I used to be a neutral chestnut. I think they've changed the color scheme now. We're gonna dab it over our face. These are actually the Amazon brushes, so I use the Sephora and the Amazon brushes together. Again, I know the girlies don't like to put the foundation underneath their eyes because they don't want to cover up the concealer, but I'm going to cover it up because I'm actually going to bake and it's all going to come back when I bake, the lightness, but I don't like that harsh line of delineation from the concealer to the foundation. I like it all to be really smooth. And one of the best compliments I get is, wow, your makeup is so smooth. They're like, it's so even. It's like you can't even see where the contour or anything is. But you can tell I've contoured to the gods because, baby, the cheeks will always be chiseled out. Okay, you guys, I had to turn a fan on, so you're going to hear a fan. It's getting hot in the basement. It's getting hot in here. So we started dating, and we dated for 2 years. Pretty much we never broke up. It was never like on and off. It just was like, this is what we're committing to. We were long distance for the first year and a half. This is still like the Ben Nye. I was going to use a one size, but I love this Ben Nye. And then the color is Banana Deep. We were each other's person. Like from the day we said, you're the one, we were each other's person. He ended up moving to Montgomery, maybe like a year and a half after we finished dating. So we did long distance back and forth, which is like an hour and a half. So it's not that bad for almost a year. He proposed pretty much like a year and a half after we started dating. And we got married that same year. So he proposed in September. No, I'm sorry. He proposed in February. We were married in November. It pretty much was like, you're the one. So altogether, we dated for 2 years. And I will say those 2 years were really great because it was 2 years of us really getting to know each other's temperament, know each other's, idiosyncrasies. We never lived ouch. Oh, God, that hurt. We never lived together, which, I just was one of my rules and he just knew it wasn't happening. But we were with each other pretty much all the time. I got to see this man when he wasn't happy. I got to see him when, he was sad. I got to go to funerals with him. I got to meet his family. I got to see how he treated his mom, his sisters, his long distance families. I got to see how he treated his friends. And then I got to see how he treated me, through that time, and then how he got along with my family, because my family's a very African family. He's not African. He's from Birmingham, Alabama. It just was one of the best experiences, I think, of my life. Like dating this man and getting to know him and seeing how his attributes lined up with what I wanted in a person and how I had seen love displayed with my mom and dad. Ooh, baby, don't cry. It was so beautiful. He was so kind. He was so kind and he was so hardworking. Everything that I wanted lined up. He went to church, so we had the same sort of religious background. The important things. He was quiet. He was a little shy. I was outgoing, so we had that give and take with personalities. He worked hard, and I was also very hardworking. Just was like everything that I wanted lined up with the important things. Now, the things that weren't so important, like I wanted, you know, 50-year-old white man. Like, we're going to be for real right now. That's what I wanted. That's what I was going for. I wanted somebody with lots of money. Say lots of money. Say lots of money with me. Type it in. I wanted somebody with lots of money. I'm a Niger girl. Of course, I wanted somebody with lots of money. I wanted somebody old that had already made his millions. The things that I thought I wanted weren't the things that I needed. So, my eyes are watering. Being able to build with this man, being able to just create life with him, being able to have kids. Now we have 2 kids. We've lived in 2 different cities. We've bought 2 different houses. Being able to like live life with this man, the same age, the same skin color, the same mindset, different cultures, but still like he's so culturally aware, just like I'm aware of his culture, has been one of the most beautiful experiences because I got to grow with this person and I continue to grow with this person. So again, a lot of times we think we want the things that we want, but the things that we need are what's important. And when it comes to meeting your spouse and meeting somebody that you think is for you, look at the important things. Are they kind? Do they have a career and a goal for themselves? Do they have a plan for themselves? Because if they have a plan for themselves, they can have a plan for you. Are they chasing you as a woman? Now I'm talking to the women. Are they chasing you? Or are you the one always making plans? The one always trying to pull things together to keep their attention? Don't do that, girl. I'm like messing up this eye. So always make sure that you are looking at those important things. They're things that we want in a spouse, and then there are things that we need. You need them to be kind. You need them to be gentle. You need them to have work ethic. You need them to have, the same religious background as you. You need them to all like the important things, y'all. You need them not to be a criminal. You get what I mean? But I don't know. Maybe some of y'all like jailbirds. I don't know. But the important things, the things that line up with what's going to sustain you after 10 years of marriage, that's what you look for. The things you want will come with time, or they may not be actually things that you need. Sometimes what we want is not what we need. Let's do the blush, baby, because I feel like I've been preaching. I love these blushes from L'Oreal. They're like my favorite blushes on earth. We're going to do like a soft pink since we're keeping everything super, super soft. Look at that. Look how gorgeous that is. I'm going to zoom in so you guys can see it. I put a little on my forehead, put a little on the bridge of my nose, and then we go to the other side. Keep it real soft. Soft and gentle like. So look for like the important things, and then everything else, I promise you, will come with time. I thought I was going to marry this super rich, super old, like take care of me Birkin every other day. Man, I didn't marry that man. I married somebody that I was going to build with potential. And we built together. Now, I'm not saying marry potential. I'm not saying that. I'm saying marry somebody with potential and a goal. That's the difference. Y'all are marrying a potential with no goals. That's a dream. That's a daydream. Marry potential with a goal. Hey, I want to be a multimillionaire. here are the plans I have in place to become that. That's a man you can ride with. That's somebody you can ride with. So find somebody with potential and a plan. And that's what Sam had. He had potential and he had a plan in place to be who he wanted to be. So we got married, ended up where he was working at the DA's office, making little to no money. And then he got a job offer to come to Birmingham. So make sure that when you're thinking about marrying somebody, that they just align with the life that you want. One thing I want to remind you is that marriage is beautiful. I think in this day and age, marriage gets such a bad rap because people are like, oh my God, this bondage, like, the divorce life is the best. And I don't know why people or that thing like marriage is so hard. It's the worst decision I've ever made. Or, oh my God, look at my ball and chain. I don't know why marriage has gotten such a bad rap, because marriage in of itself is a beautiful endeavor. It's one of the best decisions I ever made. Marriage isn't hard when it's with the right person. Now, is it work? Yes. Can work sometimes not be fun? Yes. Can work sometimes be grueling? Yes. Can work sometimes take a lot out of you? Yes. That's work. But if it's a passion, if you are working on your passion, those long nights, those long days, those sleepless, whatever, it all makes sense because you're working towards this goal. That's how you look at marriage. With the right person and with somebody that wants to work right alongside you, it's beautiful. It's beautiful work. It's long, it's arduous. You put in long days, you put in long nights, but what you put in is what you're going to get out. And at the end of the day, if you put in with somebody that's put it in with you, baby, you'll never regret it. I regret a lot. Actually, I don't have a lot of regrets. But there are things that I do regret in this life. Marriage will never be one of them, because I took my time. I watched this man. I made sure he aligned with my life. He made sure I aligned with his life. We made sure the important things that we wanted with our family and kids aligned with each other. And then we said, let's do life together. The lip color is this LA Girl, just plum lip, because we're keeping that fall theme. I think I'm going to darken up this blush, a little bit of plum. This is my go-to lip combo. Plum lip, nude lipstick underneath, maybe some gloss. Maybe some gloss. So this is the Believe Beauty. It's literally a Dollar General lipstick. Like, you look at that. Look, it's gorgeous and absolutely beautiful for dark skin. Look at that. It's just peachy pink color. And with plum, literally sings. It sings. It's so gorgeous. You can always use lipstick if you want. I mean, you can always use, lip gloss. I usually love the Fenty Heat Bomb lip gloss with it, but I'm keeping it really natural and neutral. Let us do, I think I'm going to add another infallible blush over this pink and just mix it with a little bit of this plum. This is called Legendary Berry. And look at the color. Oh my God, this is absolutely, this color on dark skin, gobble gobble, Christmas dinner. Beautiful. Look at that already. You can already tell the difference. Oh, I think I'm putting on a little too much blush. I need to soften that up. I'm going to take a little bit of, there we go. All right, y'all, let us highlight. We're going to use that same Bobbi Brown to highlight just a tiny bit. Baby, this is not trophy wife. We're not trying to look like the Tin Man. Just a little bit of highlight right here. A little bit of highlight on the nose. There we go. A little bit of highlight on the nose. I also like to highlight my Cupid's bow. There we go. I usually do it before I actually do lipstick, and then I'll take whatever's left over and get up here and up here and down here. And then we spray. That is the all-nighter setting spray. I've already shown it to you. Then we're going to use this One Size setting spray, which is the alcohol-based one, to really set it so it doesn't move all day. There we go. my makeup, it don't move. Make sure the eyelashes are still in the building, and they are. Okay. Woo! And just like that, we are done with our makeup. Very simple, very cute, very demure, very much so giving second skin, but better. So thank you for joining me and chatting with me as we learned a little bit about how me and my husband met, as we did our makeup. I really hope that you learned some new tools. Some of you guys actually do makeup better than me, so send any suggestions that you have down below, and I'm definitely going to take it into consideration. Thank you so much for joining me. If you're new here and you stayed and you watched the video and you got some tips and tricks and got preached to, and you enjoyed it, please think about hitting that subscribe button. I would love to have you as part of our growing community. If you're one of my regular Lovies, girl, it was good to see you and good to do makeup with you. If you're not following me on any of my other social media platforms, it is Fumi Ford across all platforms. All right, you guys, love you, mean it. Bye.